Now let's look at our next section. This is the action incentive. This one's seems a little different. This is a thing that motivates or encourages one to do something. Okay, it's a payment or concession to stimulate greater output or investment. And I like that, a payment or concession to stimulate greater output or investment. This is the key motivating factor that each and every offer needs to have in place. Now this speaks back a little bit to the value proposition. That is that single statement. That is what the value proposition is. This actually carries things much further, okay? Here we're not just talking about what the element is, but how it's demonstrated also, how and where. The action incentive consists of the sum total of benefits which a vendor promises that a customer will receive in return for their associated payment or other value transfer. This must be made very clear for people. Now the reason I have or other value transfer is because frankly this same thing could carry into just getting people to sign up for a newsletter. It can be share 5 of your friends and we'll give you this additional report. It can be there are a wide variety of pieces like that besides just getting a purchase made. Okay. Put simply, the action incentive is what the customer gets for his money. Okay. It's not just the value proposition. This is the overall picture. Okay. Now this has to be made. And actually, let me back up here. Have you ever noticed that when you buy a marketing course online, they make a big deal out of summarizing the offer on an extra page prior to checkout? This is a perfect example. We'll look at this next one here. This is an Alex Mandossian checkout page, and actually down below this is where the credit card and address info sits. But look at this thing. He basically, what they wanted to say is yes, rush me Alex Mandossian's market with postcards, advertising course to flood my business with more customers, more patients, and more cash paying clients than anything else I've ever tried before, even if I'm on a tight budget. I understand that I get a $100 discount off the normal $297 offer offline price, along with these 5 bonus gifts worth well over $700. So in their actual sales letter, they've kind of lengthy in a long drawn out way, they've summarized all this stuff. Okay, but as the extra push to try to get you to make this purchase, they're summarizing in the top there what it is that you're getting, and then they line up each of the 5 bonuses. And they briefly explain each of them with a value next to each of them so they can say, this is how much this is worth. And then down below that, they take it a step further and they offer what is it? It's the understand that the marketing with postcards is covered by Alex's 2-part risk-free money-back guarantee, minus shipping and handling. That certainly makes your buying decision a no-brainer. I mean, this seems, when we look at it from this perspective, it seems a little cheesy. I'll tell you, this is actually a darn good page. Quite frankly, Now, this is the sort of thing that the action incentive covers. Now, one of the key pieces of the incentive is not just what it is, but how clear it is to the user. Your prospect needs to see very clearly and easily exactly what the incentive is. Now that same piece that I just showed you, something like this is actually going to be at the bottom of his actual sales page too. And then when they take you over to the purchase, they re-emphasize everything. They rebuild it all for you to make sure that you see exactly what it is you're going to get. Now this means that for this stuff to work, and here are a few little tips to help you do this, okay? This all must be clearly spelled out in 5th grade English, okay? Can't mess with this. you have to assume that everyone looking at this could be from, from who knows what background, okay? So everything needs to be in 5th grade English. It works very well if it's in a bulleted style layout, just like Alex's was, with these little dots. And you need to say, here is what you are going to get. And you need to do it that clearly and that openly so that people know this is exactly what they're going to get. For an action incentive to be effective, it must be very easily seen. Okay? This directly affects the value proposition because it does draw back into the value proposition. It pulls off of that and it re-emphasizes. Instead of a little statement, they've got this window of elements that make up the action incentives, okay? And it reinforces everything behind that value proposition that was made and stated earlier on in the sales letter.